Hello YouTube, just unboxed this, so now is the sharpening. Tojiro VG10 Kiritsuke, it's the DP line. 3 layers laminate steel, soft stainless cladding with sandblasted fake Kasumi. So I'm gonna sharpen this and tin it. And this is the knife I'm gonna demo on my channel moving forwards. Arrived with a pretty good edge. I would say that edge is 7-8 out of 10. More than good enough to move forwards. You could literally spend half a minute on a finer grit stone and it would be pretty dang good. So this is my old 1000, giving that some love, alternating between that and the new one I got from Magnus. So just giving it some water. And you see, Magnus, the old one doesn't suck any water. Can you see up in the corner? None at all. But the one I got from you is thirsty. So that shows there's something different with the Anonymous. Using my old Atoma 140 to flatten with. And I don't use pressure when I flatten, guys. Just resting my hand on the plate. And that's the pressure I use. Do it need thinning? No, it's more than thin enough. More than thin enough. I'll say that again, more than thin enough. But when you are basically a performance junkie like I am and used customs, well, then you need to do something. Also, I'm gonna show what I would do with every new Japanese knife. First off, most Japanese knife come around 70-80% done, because they often think it's up to you to define the last part of the edge. So what that means is basically the last part down there. You actually see it looks like a little unfinished. This is actually very thin and very good made. I'm gonna show you when you get a new Japanese edge how quick you can touch up the edge using no pressure here. That's basically what you need to do with a new Japanese knife. And no, I'm not kidding. That little there would do often quite a bit. Definitely improve both the bite and the cleanness. So, and if you do the same on the 4000, you're set. Breaking off the apex, as I want to establish a new edge. Completely dull. my DMT course all the plate just to get some slurry going. I'm not gonna care about finish on this since the stainless is pretty soft. I'm tinning. I'm gonna see how flat and even it's ground from factory. I usually does that with knives. Actually, let's try first without slurry since this is soft stainless. Using the weight of the knife and like 100 grams. Just laying it flat on the part from the midline and down there. Might be a little hollow or a little convex. Again, just 50-100 grams is needed because this is pretty soft stainless. It also makes repairing and changing the Tojiro DP line a pure joy. They are a little softer with G10 than most. 60, 61, some say 59. I've never measured, so I can't say. But they take a little more abuse than most other G10s, especially if you go from like Takamura and such. Again, using no pressure. Now I'm literally just the weight of the knife is more than enough because the cladding is so soft. So it's tearing out abrasive, as you can see. Let's see here how flat it is. Actually not very bad. It's a little hollow, basically made on a wheel. And now I'm not gonna remove all of it. This is just to see and have fun and see how the knife is made. So this is hollow made. Why can I see that? Because it's taking there, but not down there. There it's moving towards the edge and a little up there. So that means here is a low spot. Here is not grabbing, it's grabbing there. Here it's grabbing. Can you see? Different. And that's because when they move on the big wheels, it's basically doing this a little back and forth. I hope people don't take offended of this, but you will never get a very nice grind on a Japanese knife if you don't pay hella lot of money. You can see here it's suddenly up there, it's suddenly back there. It's just the way it is. Does it do anything? No. Does it need to be perfect? No. And you saw that I flattened the stone beforehand. I'm just gonna widen the legs on the tripod because I saw that was shaking a little. There. Again, I'm using just the weight of the knife and maybe 150 grams from the other end. There we could see it's more and more, it's creeping towards the edge already, which says a lot about how insanely thin this is. especially for the money. You can see I'm hitting here I'm starting to get to the edge already, can you see? And you see how even it is. Does it bother me? No. That's just something, how do I say it? Something to be expected with Japanese knife and knives generally, not from a custom maker. First off, they are using huge ass wheels that, yeah, they're basically never trued or zeroed or flattened, and if they are, it's not what we call flat, it's basically chiseled or beaten down the high spots. Yeah. Especially one thing, and this tip is already scary thin, but this is a testing knife which I'm gonna push to absolute limits. I've taken IKEA knives to basically be world class performing knives without edge retention, of course, but grind wise extremely thin. I'm gonna show you I've already removed a good bit of metal from this, and that's also why I love the tojiro, because the soft stainless is so hard, so soft and easy to get along with. It's hard to get a nice finish on it, so if you care about this, the knife is not for you. If you care about a knife you can change and get a heck of a lot performance out of, this is the knife for you. You can already see, I can see it, it's being flatter. Trying to see if I can get it, it's flatter there than there. And beginning to thin a good bit out. And when I say thin tip, I mean, yeah, that's probably the thinnest tip I have. Let's check with some extremely expensive customs. Not extremely expensive, but high-end customs from Patrick Alvik. This is Apex Ultra. This is about the same thinness. Aaron Johnson Magnacut, same thinness. This is much more thinner behind the edge. This is literally the thinnest of the thinnest thin. This is anorectic. The same with this, the ABL from Patrick, a old beater blade. You can also see the thinness. Again, fairly thin tip. These are custom, handmade, one-off blades. And you get, if you spend half hour on the tojiro, the same performance. Yes. If you can sharpen, that is. If you thin it for 20 minutes to 30 minutes on 1000, it becomes insane. If you spend 10-15 minutes on 300, then 1000, etc., move up, it becomes even more insane. I'm 90% sure this side is more even. It feels like it. And this is actually my bad side sharpening. Guys, everything doesn't need to be perfect. Actually, if it's not, it's a little here and there that can also help in food release. Yes, I know that sounds weird, But if everything's perfectly flat, it will stick like crazy. I don't care as much about food release as I do about performance in my lives. But you see, Magnus, this also doesn't absorb any water nearly. Again, moving the pressure towards the tip. I want to see basically, does it chip, does it break, does it... what does happen? Using this as a water shoot. And yeah, much more even side from factory. And this also with G10, you don't need to worry about it rusting, etc. You can see a little unevenness there, it's moving up a little here. And you can feel that. If you feel it, you can basically feel here is a spot, there is a spot. You can feel that with your fingers. Do I care? Nope. It's gonna be a tool. It's gonna be a using blade. And I don't need a finish on it. I need a blade that works. And trust me, when I'm done with this blade, it's gonna be insanely sharp. It's gonna be insanely thin. And it's gonna be insanely good. And for that price, yeah, it's a bargain. This steel is so good. It's so good from factory. It needs a little, I'm gonna take a Dremel or some sandpaper from the spine because that's sharp, and the shoil, that's sharp. The handle is perfect. The rivets not poking up. This is, I think, micarta, if I remember correct. So it's just a workhorse, lovely knife. I've sharpened, yeah, at least 100 different tojiros. Between 100 and 150, I would say. I've never seen a badly heat treated or ground or something like made me say, oh, here's something wrong on a tojiro. Yes, they aren't the best made, they aren't the best ground, they aren't the best in anything, but they're a very solid workhorse that never will do you wrong. That's what you pay for in a tojiro. A workhorse to stay by your side for life. Yeah. Just seeing here. Trying to get rid of the worst high spots now, or low spots. I'm actually also, this helps really boost the strength of the tip since it's so extremely thin. Basically rounding and chamfering the edges of it. Yes, it seems silly, but trust me. I think Aaron Johnson also tested that and found the same. Guys, again, I don't really care about fit and finish here. I care about thinning and making it good. You can see, looks beat up, looks like hell. Do I care? Nope. And again, I've dragged off the edge. So let's try a silly thin edge on this. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. basically 5-7 degrees. Also thin it there behind the edge, basically 4-5-6 degrees. Why? Because I want to see the steel being pushed. Pitting behind the edge. And I'm at less than 6 or 7, trust me on that. If I go to angle cube, I'm probably at 4 or 5. Using not much pressure, let's say 150-200 grams. Let's see if I can get it to a burr here without spending too much time. If I can't, well, then it's just a thinning behind the shoulder. This feels actually fairly decently hard on the stones. Not a burr. So let's increase the angle to, let's say, 10. And tojiros, they feel crisp. They feel like they want to be sharp, and yes, that's a weird saying, but trust me, some knives feels gummy on the stone. These feels crisp and glassy and smooth. Got a burr at the very heel. At the very tip. Which also tells me something about the grind, because there's a burr basically where my thumb bear is and where at my thumb is. So basically I hit the heel a little like that and gone off the point a little like that. We're talking much, no, it's probably 1/10 of a millimeter, if even that. So again, after around 10. Yeah, this feels superb. Feels way harder than I thought on this stone. Actually, would actually take a guess and say this is feeling like 61, maybe even 62. Starting to get there, just seeing if my pressure is bending the edge. So I am starting on the other side behind the edge, and mind you, I ground away the entire apex. Basically I removed a good bit of the apex, and that beefs up the edge a lot. I want to see without any of the steel from the factory, maybe being fatigued, seeing what my own edge is. I'm just behind the edge now, thinning and blending like I always do, creating like a hamaguri convex edge. And then moving up to the very edge at around 10 degrees. Remember, this is 1,000. If I did this on a 300, 220, 400, I would already be done. So, but I chose this to have more control and feel the knife more. Again, I got the burr up here now, but not down there. So that tells me they put a very high angle on this, probably from factory, like a 20-25% micro bevel, resist from shipping. Let's take it up to 15% just to see. And that's normal with thin Japanese knife to beef them up with the Koba micro bevel. Or is it no Kiriba, no Koba? I think it's micro bevel, yeah. I can't remember. There I got my tiny burr. So let's see how it flips. If I go to 15 on the other side. This is Sanmai laminated steel, so it's very important to do equal amounts on both sides, or else the core steel won't be straight. Trust me, that sucks. The burr down here, and some places big one up there. So it's pretty uneven, the edge on the left side of the blade, or he has done an asymmetrical micro. Some Japanese do that, they put micro just on one side, which is 30, 40, 45 degrees, then leave the others besides B, and basically deburr one side and micro the other. That's why I also always sharpen new knives. There. Clean the stone. I don't want all the metal and the grit contamination from the stone slamming into the apex. So now I'm using, let's say, 100 grams. And I go to, let's say, 50, and then I go to, say, the weight of the knife. Just cleaning up. Very easy to sharpen, very easy to deburr this, I feel. It feels that way. Time will tell when the paper comes. Let's see. I think that's most likely very good. So I'll remove the stone, just drawing it. putting it away. Just getting rid of all the stone particles so they don't embed in my kitayama. This is a little shorter. Test the edge. I can actually feel when I struck a little hard the entire knife flexing at the edge. That's how thin it is. There. That's a silly good edge of 1,000. I mean, that's actually silly good. And I mean that. Again, my famous drawing. You could draw a grid or you can just do circles like that. Just cover the stone, you can do like that. You can do like this. It doesn't really matter, just cover the stone with some damn pencil marks so you know if it's flat or if it's not flat. That's all. Then you take a Toma, either a 140, 400, 600, and you move it around ever so lightly. And the kitayama, it's one of those stones that, yeah, it's never flat. Don't even know why, even though I flatten it every time, it's never flat. Does it warp? I have no clue. And it loads and gums up, so yeah. It was damn good when I got it, but I'm changing my mind every time I use it because it's starting to get gummy. Rounding the corners a little. Again, this shouldn't load the stone because it's so damn soft stainless on the sides. That's why I love to sharpen them, because it goes pretty damn quick. Just when I'm new to the blade, I'm taking it slow. So, yep, there was a little particle. There, it's off. Again, I'm using no pressure. And you can see the stone is pretty fast. Most stone is on soft stainless. I'll be really careful now so the blade doesn't stick to the stone. You can see it's starting to dry up on the left side completely. And actually it sheds abrasive and loads at the same time. Congrats. You see a little loading there. How it does it, I can't even imagine. Just does. Now I'm behind the edge. Just refining a tiny bit. Tinning and refining and getting the worst scratches out. That's about all I'm bothering. It's a stainless knife, so it doesn't need to be perfect. It looks like absolute horse scrap. That's what these knives do when you don't bother doing it perfectly and spending time. I don't care about that. Just care about how it cuts. Trust me when I say this is gonna got crazy good. Again, behind the edge. And now suddenly it starts to load instead of shed abrasive. Yeah, it's a funny stone, this Kitayama. There it suddenly starts releasing abrasive. And when it first starts, it just sheds it. It's starting to dry up. Then it gets sticky. And if I suddenly do this, because it sticks and slips and cut my fingers, yeah. With this tin and this sharp knife, that will be a disaster. There, moving to the edge. Oh, it's stuck. Did I cut myself? I think I managed to pull away. It's yeah, it's a dangerous stone. It's like it's trying to want to kill you. It still feels surprisingly hard. Actually, so it feels just as hard as the EBL, my Nylox. There it broke off a tiny part of the stone. Actually, I saw some black and I felt it. I'm wanting a pretty refined edge on this to start with. And seeing how it holds it. My kiritsuke, I do more push like a nakiri. And when I slice long strokes, so I don't need aggression. This is taking a mighty fine edge. One of the best edges I've gotten in a while. I can feel that on the stone. It's starting to feel like it's wanting to glue itself to the stone. Actually, a lot like the feeling on a straight razor. So something is very good with the steel in this knife, and I mean very, 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 very good. Superb. Like, I'd expect from Aaron Johnson and Patrick, and good, and once more, good custom knives. It feels, the stainless on the sides, it's chucky because it's got scratch just looking at it. But the core steel on this feels better than I can remember. So yeah, gonna move it up a little. Just wiping, washy. Already 40 minutes. Well, 40 minutes well spent. There. Of course, the one only magic jeans. I think that's more than enough for this knife. Yeah, this feels damn good. Feels weird because it feels harder. Than most Ouija knives I've sharpened in a good while. That's a positive thing, at least for me. Some like soft knives. Look, I'm not debating what's best or worse, but to me, soft knives, of course, I'm not talking about untempered. I will always favor a blade towards, let's say a blade has a range max hardness quenched without tempering is 66. Let's say that. The knife for me will always be best at 64-ish, 2 points temper down. If you take that steel to 58, 59, it's just wasted steel in my eyes. Sorry guys. Let's see. Yeah. That's without stropping, guys. Straight off a stone. It also got bite. Holy cannoli. That's a long ways out. Let's see, can it just not cut my fingers? It can do the curlicues, which to me is one of the best signs when I can cut in. Can you see? I cut in and then I cut in, cut around and then out again. Basically puzzle pieces. Gonna check, I've forgotten completely about these. Doesn't push cut the lunch paper. I don't care about that. It slices it very good. And this is a little wet paper too. Again, do I care? I care about two things: how it feels on the paper. It feels good. Let's check. It's still, even though I went to a 4K, pretty bitey. Of course not like a diamond, but it's got more than enough bite. My baked on strop. basically using no pressure. Doing once at around 45 for strength. I do that on all my knives now. And people may argue all they want. I don't care, guys. I do edges my way, you do it your way. What works for me, guys. Again, this isn't even single ply. It's see-through paper. You can see my fingers through. It isn't two-ply, it isn't single-ply, it's just crap. So, test just to see if the edge is clean, and yes, I know, oh, it can be sharper and blah blah blah. Well, good for you. That's very, very, very good. That's more than sharp enough for what I use a knife for. Does it even like this? I hope this is in view. Can you see? I mean, do you want more? Yes, you probably will. Do I want more? No. It's more than sharp enough. Let's see if it's tree topping. Slightly tree topping, guys. Some places don't. Is it shaving? Well, yeah. And yes, I got bold arms. And yes, I got extremely fine, like down soft kind of hair. You can basically nearly see it. That's a silly good edge. I mean, that edge I would compare with the Apex Ultra 50-100 Magna Cut ABL, whatever out there. That's to me a 10 out of 10 edge. It's insane how good these knives are for the price. It's, yeah. Without, let's take everything away. I would compare, no, let's take edge retention away, I mean. I would compare these easily to the best customs in the world in performance, just by spending the little amount of time I just did. They are so damn good, guys. Again, look how thin that tip is. Can you even see it? I'm scared to touch it because it's that thin. Can you see? If that camera wants to focus, that's the big point. Can you see the thinness? If I put something white behind it. Does that help if I put it like that? Probably. There you can see. It's silly thin. It's well made. Now it's starting to turn slightly convex. It's a gorgeous blade. It looks like it's beat up now, but trust me, this is a performer. Thanks for watching. Now I'm gonna clean up. Please press like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Bye.